Welcome everyone to OCE Racing League 1. Again, we are back at the Austrian Grand Prix for round 5. And as we can clearly see, it is raining. So, we ended Tier 2 with rain. We are starting Tier 1 with rain. So let's see what happens in qualify. I'd like to know what would be happening in the race. Joining me again today for our commentary box will be Chris Mania. Are you there, Chris?
I am here, hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Pretty rattled from the race just earlier, still. Trying to process all that.
Yeah. It was an absolutely amazing race. And have you got the weather for me at the moment? Other than the rain that we're currently seeing?
I think you can see the weather right now.
For sure, but I'd like to know whether there's rain in the race.
Yeah, light rain all the way through quali, and we'll start off clear in the race, and allegedly light rain towards the end, so...
Interesting.
Probably the last third of the race will be rain.
Well, that's alright. So, it's not too bad. Won't be as heavy as we'd had in Tier 2, but again, rain. So, our next commentator joining us, I should say, in the commentary box is Law of the Streets. Law, are you there?
Yes.
How are you?
Not too bad. Going to be interesting to see the strategies going into the race, seeming they can't have a practically tyre strategy in quali.
Well, it's going to be really strange to see what's going to be happening. So,
As we've got one car out, two cars out on track at the moment with Sir Joshi and also James. And we've just got another car leaving the pits.
So we got Sir Joshi and James. Let's have a look. Anybody else for? We seem to be missing a little. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to click the transition. It's up and running. Go. Here we go.
Oh, good on you.
So, yeah. So, Lord, did you get a chance to watch the Tier 2 race?
I didn't actually. I didn't get a chance. What was it like?
Madness. Would be the
Yeah,
word.
how long have you got?
Madness would be the word to pick for the OCE2 race. We started with 18 drivers and finished with 10 drivers.
Oh,
so pretty much everyone.
That's basically what 50% of the field gone.
Pretty much. So anybody who finished basically got a point. So it was honestly crazy race. One safety car. We had.
Any virtual safety cars?
No virtual. So I only had just the one safety car. So it was quite a few incidents. We had yellow flags left, right, and center in all sectors at one point, and multiple areas on the track. Even we had Burgers who made up 9 spots, and Josh KKH 223 making up 8 spots. So they were the drivers of the day. Probably the driver of the day would go to Burgers, but yeah, it was honestly a crazy race, and I definitely would think some of the Tier 1 drivers were watching the race and trying to pick apart some ideas, because it would be smart, because getting the idea of the layout of the strategy, depending on what they pick, they can get an idea.
As Josh sets a 1:11.5.
So a very quick time for Josh. So Joshy, he sets the banker, he sets it down first. And
what did you think about? I've seen the video of Wackel getting stuck in the pits.
I was just unfortunate, I think. There's not a lot he can really do, because, well, with viewers that don't know much about the multiplayer cars in the F1 game, the game randomly assigns a teammate for you. So if you happen to be one of those unlucky drivers that have a teammate, and even more unlucky to have someone go in the box at the same time you do and take your box, then sorry, but luck is just not in your favor.
Grackel's situation was particularly bad because I think the car boxing was retiring, and so they kind of just sat in the way for a second before noping out of there.
I think with what I've seen on the video is the car that was actually boxed actually had a penalty to serve.
Boxed?
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
so they probably served that penalty, and then they were retiring anyway. So it was just super unfortunate for Guacal. He lost a ton of time there. He was pretty upset.
As we just witnessed Shadow.
That might end up in the highlights.
We just witnessed Shadow doing a 13.8. So we got a few times on the boards. It's quite a bit spread out with Sir Joshi 5/10 ahead of Oxygen in second spot. Then you have John Jang 5/10 behind Oxygen in third spot. So the two drivers who are filling in from Tier 2 today, again, as if you missed the stream of Tier 2, Oxygen just missed the Tier 2 race by milliseconds. So unfortunately he wasn't able to race in Tier 2. So he's getting a second chance in Tier 1. John Jang also unable to race in Tier 2 today, so racing in Tier 1. Both drivers from Tier 2 sitting in the top 3. And
it's interesting to see, like, when you look at it, the amount of drivers that like from Tier 2 that can actually come up to Tier 1 and set good lap times.
It's a good show of overall strength of our league. Knowing that some Tier 2 drivers can match it with the top Tier 1 drivers, so
definitely some fast guys down there.
There definitely is.
Should probably tell everyone that we're going to be introducing some promotion relegation next season to help.
I suppose. So as of we announced it, guys. So for those obviously not part of our Discord server, whether as a member, we announced a new rule change for our season 3. Going into season 3, promotion relegation will be enabled. So those that perform well in season 3 in Tier 2 will be promoted to Tier 1, thus increasing the competition. So there is that, and those that do not perform as well in Tier 1 will find themselves in Tier 2. So
at the moment, we've got 3 drivers that are yet to set a time in the qualifying session. Big Jim, Dougie Falcon, and also Alex.
Well, Alex just came out just now, so you can see him pulling aside.
So is Big Jim.
And Oxygen has also put in a very fast lap time. He's 1/10 behind Sir Joshi, so going for another one. He is almost a 10th up on his Sector 1, so looking very quick.
Yeah.
Looking very, very quick. Let's see how he goes as we ride on board with him. And also viewers as well, I forgot to mention as well, we also now have a Twitter page, so you can find our Twitter in our YouTube on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to follow, by all means, we will be posting on that daily, just sort of videos that we post on YouTube and updates with the standings and race results, as we tend to dish out our own penalties for certain things. So if there's a change in the race results, everything will be updated via our Twitter channel. So
how did they go with the pit lane entry rule that came in?
I think actually that's another thing. The viewers, actually I forgot to mention for you guys in Tier 2. So for the Austrian Grand Prix, so our drivers have been warned and told that they must stick to the right side of the pit lane. They must not cross the line when they are going into the pits. If they cross the line, they will be given a 5-second time penalty. Because it can be very unsafe for the driver behind. So we will see. I don't think anybody actually did. I mean, there was a cars that did.
There might have been an incident, but we haven't gone over it yet.
Yeah,
not very much time between the 2 races.
Definitely not. We only had
there's only half an hour between races, isn't there?
Yeah, well today, because we started at 5 instead of our usual time of 4:30, yes.
Yeah.
So made a bit of a difference there. So as we saw on board with Dougie Falcon.
Yeah, I was just about to say Dougie Falcon's on his way to the penultimate corner.
Yeah, he's going to need to slow up because he's got a couple of cars ahead of him. So now Dougie Falcon has taken away the last 2 races of pole and fastest lap and race win. So he's had 2 trifectas.
I was gonna say, I noticed a bit of a thing there. It said his time was like 7 minutes.
Oh, I think he was just on an out lap because he's had drivers in front of him. So it's,
Yeah, we've been having timing glitches all day.
Yeah.
I don't think it was quite 7 minutes.
he does set the fastest sector in sector 1, so he's got a purple there. Let's see what his sector 2 time is.
Could he go quicker than Sir Joshi?
Well, the last 2 races he definitely has been, so we will see what our esport driver, from what I've been told, will be doing in sector 2. And he has a purple.
Purple sector.
Yeah, unfortunately, whoever that is in front of him has really blocked him. I think he's
Alex is disconnected.
Alex has left the session, so
That was a desync.
yeah, whatever happened there, it's probably cost Dougie Falcon quite a bit of time. So
Yeah, maybe
108, 109. What's he gonna put in? A 111.8. Yeah, that's definitely cost him a lot of time. So that's cost him a lot of time.
We've just had confirmation as to what happened to Alex.
Oh, yep, the game's crashed. I'll get on that.
Crashed.
So yeah, Chris, would you be kind enough to send another invite to Alex?
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just surprised to see you two in the commentary box tonight for this one.
Whoa!
Yeah,
BF saw into the wall. Into the wall. As we just saw, we were right on board with him, and he's gone into the wall just out after sector 2. So that's going to be a hectic amount of damage. So yeah, you can see he's missing his whole front wing. So he's obviously dropped it coming out of the third last corner, past the actual Red Bull, past the bull. So he's dropped it there, probably on a bit of water.
Pressure.
Yeah, a little bit of water.
Bull staring him down.
Well, let's see. Who else is on a hot lap at the moment? Basic Kiwi, also the T2 driver, trying to make amends for his T2 race. So, unfortunately,
we've got Peanuts on a hot lap.
Peanuts? Well, let's have a look at Peanuts. What is his sector 2 time? Is it faster? It is 4/10 quicker than what he was currently doing. So, he's on course for a 12.8, which would put him in 8th place, depending on how fast in the 8s he is. So
yeah, depends on if he's low 8s or high 8s maybe.
Well, Peanuts, this is his 4th race with a wheel, I believe, and he didn't go much. He's obviously he's made a mistake in sector 3, probably unaware to us, and I feel like that would be in the second last corner. He almost drops it out of turn 1. So it is very tricky conditions out there, particularly if there's a dry race.
Yeah,
these guys have been going for a dry setup, as Alex has just rejoined.
Yeah, I was going to say, they'll be going for a dry setup, because they'd be probably
actually wanted
Well, Oxygen's dropped it. We just ran on board with Oxygen.
Damn.
Unfortunately for him, he was 1/10 up on his time, which would have put him ahead of Sir Joshi. Actually,
yeah, he had a personal best in the first sector there.
There's not a lot of difference between Sir Joshi and Oxygen, actually. It's literally 7 thousandths of a second.
7 thousandths of a second.
So,
alright, that would have put him on top.
It would have. It really, really would have. As let's see if John Jang, where is he? He's a little bit down on his sector 1, but not by about 14 thousandths. So.
And Oxygen's into the pits.
He's pretty much matched his time, John Jang. So let's see what his sector 2 time is. He is up 40 thousandths of a second. So. John Jang a little bit up. I don't know if it's enough to get him into 3rd, but let's see what his sector 3 time is. Who is that in front of him, the yellow car? I think it's Window. He'll be wanting Window to get out of the way. John Jang with a very nice livery update, actually.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Whoop, almost dropped it. He's kept it.
Almost lost it through the penultimate corner.
Yeah, but he was, that cost him almost 2/10. So, unfortunate for him. Just a little bit greedy on the power out of the corner, and there goes his lap.
As we've got Shadow,
who's up almost 2/10 in sector 1. So Shadow looking very smart and very bright at the moment. Can he improve on his sector 2 time? There goes a little bit deep into turn 5. Carries a little bit twitchy out of that, but he seems to have gathered himself up well. Again, depends. Sometimes a little twitchy can sometimes be a good thing.
Well, means you're on the limit for sure.
For sure. He's now 3/10 up on his lap. Where will that put him? It will put him above John Zhang if he continues this for the rest of the lap. That is somewhat
As
in front of him at the moment.
I was gonna say, as we just had a yellow flag in sector 2, there's looked like Piero.
Piero falling a bit short as Shadow gets himself into the 11s. He does go 4th fastest and he puts himself ahead of John Zhang. You could see he was right on the limit into the second last corner. One tyre remaining on the track, right on the limit. So, as Dougie Falcon, I think, is on another hot lap. No, he's on another cool down lap. So I think he's just getting stuck with traffic in front of him. Not able to set a fast enough lap to sort of get ahead of Sir Joshi.
Do you think
Oxygen.
now with the guys out on track, do you think they'll have enough time to get back into the pits and maybe come out with them?
Depending where they are on the track. If they're in Sector 1 and Sector 2, no. If they're in Sector 3, they might.
Yeah, they might just have a chance.
Again, depending where they're in Sector 3. Like, Sector 3 is only 4 corners, so if they are probably on the 3rd last corner, then yes. But right now, it's not looking like any of the cars now. There's no way. No
that
way
was
they would get in time. As Alex is a second down on his time, so confirmed is on the grass, obviously staying out of everybody's way. Peanuts, he's a little bit up, 0.03 of a second up on his time at the moment. Peanuts with a... Actually, no, I'm sorry, that was BFR Ethsol. So, Ethsol, 3,000. So, what's going on there? That would have scared Ethsol to his core.
As we got Dougie Falcon just starting a hot lap.
So, it means he's probably found a bit of breathing space as Ethsol goes 2/10 quicker, puts him in 9th spot, 1/10 behind Piero. So, if we go on board with Dougie Falcon, who is 1/10 up, which puts him at the moment with 11.7, 11.6 possibly, depending on how fast he is in Sector 2.
And Sector 2, there is a few cars basically just leaving Sector 2 going into Sector 3 now.
Well, he's got all the spaces in the world in front of him. I don't think there's many cars. He's 5/10 up on his Sector 2 time. This at the moment puts him as an 11.3. So Joshi then puts an 11.2. So Joshi's gone quicker, but right now Dougie Falcon's on an 11.3 at the moment. So
Dougie Falcon's Sector 2 is still faster.
What is his Sector 3 time? 11 flat. So he goes 8/10 quicker.
2/10 up on Sir Joshi there.
Wow. And that with the final, that was a final lap. So I think actually Dougie might be able to go for one more, but he's retired instead. So what is Sir Joshi doing? Sir Joshi a little bit slower at the moment. A little bit slower, not by much, only by 39,000th of a second. So what is his Sector 2 time? He's got to put in at least 1 or 2 tenths quicker. At least 1/10 quicker in Sector 2 and see if he can make it up in Sector 3. So what is his time in Sector 2? Whoa, that's gone for Sir Joshi. That is gone. Oxygen now coming round. I don't know what his Sector 2 time was, if he's improved or if he's gotten any. I think actually Oxygen might not have improved. He's a little bit behind, I can see. 108, 109. Actually, he might have improved. 111.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit.
He did.
19.
He's actually come quite close to Sir Joshi there.
So, still 11.5, so still a little bit off. Ethsol, 2/10 up. Whoop, 2/10 up into the wall. So, not what you want. And he is
at slow currently.
Last car, and yeah, he's just retired from the session. So that is all 16 races done with qualifying, and we now move on to the race.
Very, very interesting. I mean, Dougie Falcon for the 3rd consecutive race has got pole position.
So, as I mentioned before, Dougie Falcon, our I think only esport driver at the moment in this series.
He's very quick.
Yeah.
Very, very quick.
I was wondering if the wet might mix it up a little bit, but he's managed to pull it out. He's not very far off of Sir Joshi, though.
It's a lot closer. So, again, Sir Joshi, he's not far off from esport times, but as you can still see between esport driver and non-esport driver, someone who's very close. There's only 2 tenths in the wet, but Again, we know how quick Dougie Falcon is in the dry, as we saw in Mexico when...
Well, that's what I was just about to ask. Do you reckon most people have gambled on that wet setup for the end of the race?
It's a possibility. Again, it depends on when that rain comes. It's all a
Yeah, I don't
gamble.
think anyone knows.
Sometimes it says the rain's coming at the 20-minute mark and just comes at the 10-minute mark. Like, you just don't
Yeah,
know.
the
It's
It
all a
also-
gamble.
windows are very wide.
It also depends on if the rain comes at all.
Well, it says it's
Yeah,
supposed
it's a
to,
good question.
but
Usually it will, but yeah, the question is whether it affects
Oh,
the back half of the race or the last lap.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I'm saying. It depends on if the rain comes at all. Like, obviously,
Yeah, it's certainly a big question mark.
well, we will find out very soon as to what is going to happen.
That pole puts Dougie Falcons first in the pole position count.
Yes, he does move into first place for the pole position count. So I think a win would also put him first in the standings, possibly, or maybe even just second, maybe just shy of Sir Joshi. So
Yeah, Sir Joshi. Current standings are Sir Joshi on 80, Sex on 53, and Dougie's down there on 52.
So another win will put him in seconds, because obviously Sex and I are not racing in this one. So only Dougie to really. Why is Dougie starting from P16?
hey,
Why is he
Dougie is
starting
starting
from
in P16.
yeah, I've just noticed that.
What the heck? That's interesting.
That's a bit of a
That is interesting. Why is he starting from P16?
We'll find out about that. In the meantime, I think I've got some more updated weather forecast, and bad news if you've gone for a wet setup. It seems like we've got at least half an hour of dry running.
That would put us on lap 25, which would be roughly the same time the Tier 2 race started raining.
Oh yeah, true. There's still that window for it to... Between half an hour and 45
I'm
minutes.
literally confused about how. Obviously, Dougie Falcon's now starting in 16th when he's at the fastest lap.
I am not sure. Is it just me? Is Oxygen starting on the hards? He is starting on the hards.
Yes, he is.
So
Interesting.
we've got
Oxygen
two drive and basic Kiwi on the hards.
Yes.
So
But
we have.
I can tell you this. I was actually speaking to Basic Kiwi before the start of the Tier 2 race, and he actually told me that he was going to start on the hards, run the hards till about lap 23, and then run either the softs or the mediums until lap 36.
Hards are not a good race tire, so that's an interesting one. That's very puzzling for me.
Yeah, we've seen drivers in practice races go medium, soft, make that work.
So, well, this is going to be interesting because we've got only 7 out of the 16 drivers on the softs. We've got less than half the field on softs. As we've got 3, 4, 5 lights. Who's going to be the first driver into turn 1 as they go out? That was very quick. And they are stalled. No, they're moving away. Sir Joshi gone. Oxygen, we know, is not going to be very quick off the line. If he can hold P2, he might have a chance, but who is that? James has dived right down the middle, gone off the track. Oxygen reclaims P2. James slipping down to P5 right now. As we can see, James now challenging Ubiquitous Shadow, or Ubic Shadow, as he's shortened it to. Be careful into turn 3. Oh, who's going to dive? And there's a bit of contact there.
Ooh.
It looks like someone's taken a bit of a whack, and I think that was Piero, the blue car of Big Jim. I think it might have been. Gone very, as Dougie Falcon has found himself into 9, so he's made up 7 spots already. He's not wasting any time whatsoever, so...
No, especially on those mediums. And, I mean, he'll be able to last...
Going around the outside of Big Jim, that's going to be very... He does, he just manages it. So he's made up 8 positions in less than a lap.
Not even half a lap.
Blazing start.
He is not wasting any time at all. He is going for the injustice of losing pole.
We'll have to talk to him after the race and find out what that was all about.
As the first lap's just finished, and Sir Joshy has put in a 109.
As Alex is making a move on Guackle, I think it was. He did make a move on Guackle, and Guackle is coming back at him. John Jang only 3/10 behind Oxygen right now, so interesting that Oxygen has decided to go on the hards. Is Guackle going deep? Oh, made contact with Confirmed. They've got a very similar livery, actually. Guackle.
That's going to have to be looked at by
do.
the stewards, I think.
Yeah, a bit of a bump, yeah. I mean, so long as no damage, it might be okay. But I think if there's a bit of damage to Confirm, Guackle might find himself in trouble.
That's what I was thinking.
I think with simulation damage, for sure, that's half a wing gone.
I mean, like you see in the qualifying, the fastest lap was a 111, and in the dry after that first lap, so Joshy put in a 109 and then gone better with a 106.3.
Oh, those lap times will absolutely tumble off after the first lap.
For sure, these guys are full of fuel at the moment. With 20, they would have 36 laps at least of fuel.
Yeah.
So that depends.
Maybe even a bit more. Like they might have 38 to 39 laps.
Potentially. I don't know. It depends. Some drivers like to have a lot more fuel, so they can use more of rich mix. So that all depends on what their preference is.
Like
Yeah,
they want to use that
balancing
rich
act.
mix.
You can't use it too long though, because you'll have your engine overheat and then you start to lose performance on that too.
Yeah.
So it's really a balancing act.
It is. It really is. So
As we see Dougie Falcon trying.
there is a yellow
almost from
flag
the,
in Sector 2. Someone's dropped. I think it's John Jang. John Jang is now in 6th
It's
spot.
moving very slowly there.
He's now in
Overtaken by
he's
Dougie.
overtaken Dougie as well. So he's made a mistake somewhere. So he's now into 8th spot from as John Jang gets himself a
And-
3-second penalty. So obviously trying to regain some sort of
Doesn't
momentum.
look like it's got any damage.
So Dougie, oh, bit of an understeer. Whoop, James gone very wide. He's gone very wide at the top there, James. He's got Ubiquitous Shadow coming, not far behind him, about 5/10 behind. So Window found himself in 5th spot. So
And,
good
like,
race
you
for
can
Window
see
right
that,
now.
as we see Dougie Falcon going past Piero.
So we got Dougie Falcon taking Piero, and we got Ubiquitous Shadow taking James. So James will now have the Windows. Something's happened to Window. He's going a little bit wide. So James will now have the DRS. Dougie's already broken the DRS, or gone further enough away from Piero to be affected by the DRS. So Shadow locks up into turn 5.
That's Dougie Falcon going up 10 spots in 4 laps? 3.5 laps.
Yes, it is. There's 10 spots. So I think if Sir Joshy's not careful, he's going to find Dougie Falcon behind him, not
yeah.
in the not too distant future. So
The way it's going, Dougie Falcon is actually only 9 seconds behind Sir Joshy.
that's crazy. Well, maybe there's a lot more. There's a lot more of a deficit between Sir Joshy and Dougie Falcon, our esport driver. Yeah, so we're on board with Window right now, who's trying to find a way past James at this point in time. So.
And he's also got Dougie Falcon fastly approaching him too.
4/10 behind, so Window needs to get past it quickly. James is also on the medium, so James will start to find that tyre performance kick in around about another 2 laps, where the deficit starts to
As
sort of
James just
equalise.
locked up going into that corner.
Dougie Falcon sitting in right behind Window, losing time every corner to Sir Joshy, so that time keeps getting a little bit bigger. If we flick on board to get to the leader, you can see Dougie Falcon almost 10 seconds behind Sir Joshy, unfortunately. So
Reeling in Window at the moment.
I think he might get Window here, to be honest.
He might get the DRS assistance.
Yeah, he's got quite the run down straight.
But then again, Window's also got DRS as well.
Yeah, I think Window's been saved by that fact.
Dougie a little bit better into turn 1. He's a little bit closer to Window,
And-
so Window will be giving him more of the toe than James will be giving it to Window. So touches the grass, loses him a little bit of time. Oh, he's gone for the late lunge, very late lunge. Window's left him the room. Dougie still there, Window's still there.
Dougie's got it.
He has got it, and he's into 5th spot. But Window coming
Windows
back at
trying to fight
Dougie.
back.
Will he get there? He's trying around the outside.
As
Trying
James
to
locks it up into that corner.
well, Windows tried to do an Albon, and this time he left him out to Dougie left him out to dry. So no chance there, as Pierre is getting in nice and close to Window, as we can see. So now lap 5 into lap 6, the guys on the harder compounds will start to get that performance back from the soft runners.
Yeah, where the soft runners will start losing the grip, won't they?
Well, interesting from this point of view, as Oxygen, I mean, he's on the hard, so he's going to have to wait even longer than the guys on the mediums. So he's 7 seconds, 7.7 seconds behind Sir Joshi. As you can see, Dougie Falcon going for another move on James right now.
Oof.
And he's now into 4th place. If he can hold around the outside, James is going to try and hang him out to dry. He is. Dougie manages to keep it. They are side by side. Dougie with the DRS still. No, James got the DRS this time.
He did.
Dougie
Dougie
blasting
get the,
past, and
DRS.
away he goes. Dougie
Yeah,
into
in spite of the DRS, just
As
such
confirmed,
good
just
run
got
out of that
3
corner.
second penalty.
confirmed
So we've
3-second
already
penalty.
got 4 drivers going to or in on lap 7.
Whoop,
with
John Jang
penalties.
making contact with Piero. John Jang trying to cover the lost ground from 4th place. So, wow, not as action-packed as the T2 race, but very as Window is in 8th place. He's obviously made a mistake somewhere, actually. So, Window now coming back at John Jang, 3.5 tenths behind. So,
As we've just seen, Big Jim and Alex swap their positions. Alex was in 10th and Big
who
Jim.
is that? Big Jim gone very wide, so
yeah, right onto that runoff there.
well, Alex coming back at him right now, and he's got BFR Ethsol coming on the back
Yeah,
of
giving Ethel a chance to catch up there.
that. Ethsol thinking about it, thought twice, realised not enough of a gap to go for that dive, as Alex is going for the dive on Big Jim, as the poor camera there. DRS for Big Jim though. Alex might go for it. Maybe, as Joe is going for it on Window, he's going Window right on the outside. There's so much overtaking in the same corner. Alex trying to go around the outside. Will he make it work? Oh, he does. The last of the late breakers. Big Jim hugging that inside. And Alex says, see you later.
He got it done there, around the outside.
Window hugging now the back of Joe. Joe's going to find himself with much better tyres within the next couple of laps.
Jim's got Ethel to contest with now.
Well,
Up the inside, around the penultimate corner. Wow, that was brave.
oh, I missed that, unfortunately.
As you can almost see that Sir Joshi is almost a full sector in front
of Dougie.
of the rest of the field.
Well, remember, Sector 1 is only 3 corners, so not even. It's really 2 corners, with the 3rd corner being the little kink, which is turn 2. So, who is that at the back of the field? I think it's Basic Kiwi, and he does have some front left wing damage, so he's missing an end plate there. So, Tier 1, so his second race is not going as well as he would have thought. Now, ooh, Piera just losing out to John Jang. Just. So John Jang coming back from the mistake into 6th place. Dougie Falcon only 6 tenths behind. As who is that? That was Joe. That went really, really off the line. He's given himself a very poor run and being jumped by Window. So,
I mean, you can also see that Dougie has caught onto the back of Shadow.
So it's going to be a very straightforward pass into turn 3, I think. Shadow, again, different compound, probably doesn't need to hold up or waste as much time, considering he's on a completely different compound to the guys in front, now that Dougie's in front, so doesn't need to waste any time trying to defend, because he needs to focus on this. He's coming back at Dougie, but
He's coming back at him.
he needs to defend his position later in the race, not now. Now is the time where you preserve the tyres, try and go as far as you can, because you want to make those mediums have the best tyre performance as possible. So,
well, at the same time, you look at it, he's probably got maybe another 2 laps on those soft tyres.
no, I would say lap 16 would
Lap
be
16, you reckon?
would be the sort of pit pit window for the soft runners. Maybe even lap,
Yeah,
maybe
that's
even a little
kind
bit
of
earlier.
insane.
So, I mean, Moggs went to, I think, lap 18, I think it was, before he made the change to the mediums. So,
Yeah.
You'd definitely be feeling it right now, though. They don't hold up softs.
As Dougie Falcon's also almost caught up to the back of Oxygen.
well, again, I'm really surprised that Oxygen went for the hards, to be honest. He kind of did the John Jang of race 1 and 2, so, or race 2 and 3, I should say, so because John Jang didn't partake in the first race, so he's done the John Jang of those races there, as Window is, I think, is battling out with Alex.
I
Same
mean,
time.
like, you never know, the strategy could work.
I
It's
really don't
interesting
think so.
because Oxygen and Dougie are basically on the same strategy. It's just that Oxygen's running this slower tire. So as long as Dougie can make the tire last,
He's
he's got the tire advantage the whole way through.
Well, this is
I
the thing.
mean-
Oxygen's going to go to at least lap 22, I think.
And
On those
Dougie's
hards, he should be able to go to lap 22 on those hards.
Dougie's at least what, 0.3 of a second behind Oxygen.
Well, if he doesn't get him here, he's going to get him in the next straight. So, and you can see Dougie just biding his time. As
Got a bit of
Oxygen,
action down the tail end of the points here.
what have you got? You got Ethsol 1/10 behind as we're watching Dougie get past Oxygen right now, and he does. Makes a clean overtake. Squeezes Oxygen. Doesn't stamp on the brakes into the corner, but he's already gone.
We've had basically we already come into the pits on the.
Well,
and hit the
Oxygen
softs.
coming back at him. He's going down the inside. Is Dougie going there? Both defending very hard. Oxygen probably just lost out on that one. He's on the inside right now. Dougie knows he's there, but I think the move is done. Done and dusted. As we see Ethsol. And who is that? Window going down the inside of Joe, I think it was. And Joe just managing to keep it. Window right there. Ethsol right there. So
now it's time for Dougie Falcon to close up that gap.
well, it's 9.8 seconds to Sir Joshi, which I am assuming in the next, as basically he resets the fastest lap, and he'll be very happy with that. I'm assuming in the next 3 laps, Dougie Falcon is going to close down about 2 seconds to Sir Joshi.
Yeah, every lap, so Josh's softs are going to be getting worse and worse on him.
It'd be every corner.
13 now.
As even
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
pit window open. So Joshi's probably going to be pitting very soon.
So it'll be a critical few laps for Dougie then, as he gets the chance to run in clean air on those mediums.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, how much of a gap can he also create?
Well, that'll be the key one. So, if we ride on board with Sir Joshi right now, let's see if he darts into the pit this lap. I don't think he will. I think he's still got enough of a buffer to keep going, because he doesn't want to pit too early. But he also doesn't want to pit too late, because if he pits too late, he's okay, he doesn't pit. So remember, the drivers need to sit to the right-hand side if they're going into the pits. If they do not do that, they'll get themselves a 5-second penalty. So,
And a big slap on the wrist.
yeah, so Quackle with a 3-second time penalty. So so Dougie has closed in a second on this lap alone. So
It's because you could say that Dougie's in that fresh air sort of thing.
yeah, those tyres will be a breath of fresh air, as there is a massive battle between 8th, 9th, and 10th, and 11th. So
Yeah, we've been watching him. I've been watching him swap around a few times.
whoa,
Last few
Ethsol loses the back end, and he's gone round. Literally I think he may have actually touched the grass there, because that just went round on him.
Yeah, it's a shame. Quackle's almost about to pick
him.
that up now.
Well, here he
Yeah.
is.
Did he take damage on his wing?
I don't think he did, Ethsol. No, I don't think he did. So, as you can see, Quackle now getting closer to Ethsol. I think he's a little bit too far away to go for a dive, though. So, Ethsol's safe for this lap as Big Jim locks up. Ethsol locks up. Big Jim gone very wide. Whoa, Ethsol. Whoa, Ethsol into the wall.
We see Joshi come into the pits.
Ethsol into the wall as Quackle now trying to get round Big Jim. And you can see Big Jim just struggling. So,
As Joe's picked up a 3-second penalty.
That's interesting.
so Joshi pitting.
So Josh is taking
Yeah, so
soft.
Joshi's pitted and take the soft tyres.
Quackle another 3-second time penalty. Unless he really believes it's going to rain very soon.
Yeah,
What
he must be betting on the rain.
What is the weather saying? I mean, I can see it's
We're
getting slightly
still
darker.
15 to 20 minutes out from light rain, apparently.
Wackle, maybe.
It's actually, the forecast has changed quite a bit. We were looking at just a short burst of light rain, but yeah, it's growing. I don't know. We could end the Grand Prix on inters.
I was gonna say we might end up ending this Grand Prix on full wets.
Depends
I don't think
if
it'll be
it's-
quite that bad.
You don't think it'll get quite that bad?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, go on.
tier 2, I think very well could have actually put the wets on, and I think it would have been quicker. So
Definitely in the last couple of laps, but at that point it's really not worth it, right? I think it'll be the same kind of situation today if it continues to rain towards the end, but
got
it
Sergio
doesn't look like the rain will
There's a
stick
battle
around.
between
Sir Joshi
Sir Joshi and John
Piero.
Jane.
I think John Jang's in the pits, but he's with Piero at the moment, and he does get Piero. He did also cut the line there, so I think he would have just received a warning for that, but I don't think he can do that too many times more.
As Dougie Falcon's got a 2.1 second lead on
Well,
Oxygen.
Oxygen is now starting to come back at Dougie Falcon. So Dougie, now isn't the time Oxygen's going to find that performance come back to him. So he's sitting nicely. I think if he can get, if there is rain, I think if Oxygen can get to the rain, he'll be laughing.
He will be, won't he? Because he won't have to pit until at least maybe the rain, but the rest of the drivers will probably have to pit beforehand.
Well, Guackle again 2/10 behind, but we're on board with Sir Joshi as he's only 3/10 behind James. James holding up with those 15-lap medium tyres. I think he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck here, and he is.
As Oxygen's just come into the pits.
That's a shame. I don't think he got I don't think he got the best out of those. As Sir Joshi gets himself a 3-second time penalty. That's not what he wants. I don't think Oxygen got the most out of those hards.
Yeah, I was going to say Oxygen went on to the soft tyres.
So, interesting choice from Oxygen. So he's gone to the softs. I think it would have been better to go lap 20 at least on those hards because he was gaining on Dougie. So
yeah, he was gaining
as
just a little bit on Dougie.
Peanuts is 5/10, so he's got a bit of a slip. So Oxygen has obviously cleared Peanuts very quickly. Either that or Peanuts just came out behind Oxygen. So when he exited the pits, yeah. You can see the race has sort of mellowed out a little bit now. Guackle chasing down Peanuts. Dougie doing his absolute best to pull away, or at least hold off Sir Joshi. I think the race is sitting in Sir Joshi's to lose right now because he's closing in on Dougie. If there is rain, it's sitting nicely with Sir Joshi, simply because the rain needs to come within the next 7 laps.
Piero into the pits on the softs.
Well, we can see him. He's just left his marker board. He's pit lane. So, it's definitely interesting. So, as we have a new follower on Twitch as well, as I just seen. Hazu Haruka. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for following us on Twitch. Yeah. So. 3/10 Guackle, 2/10 now. Where is he? That's a terrible camera. Guackle's going for it. He's going for it. He's about to get Peanuts. Peanuts trying his best defense, hugging that line. Guackle going around the outside. He's doing an Albon, although Peanuts not doing a Hamilton. These guys have left each other enough space. And Just about. Peanuts now trying to go around the outside, and Guackle does get him.
Great move by Guackle.
Terrific.
Lots of respect.
Terrific, absolute terrific move. And Joshi closing in on Dougie very, very fast.
So easy for the car on the inside to drop it and just nudge the car on the outside through there.
Really, really is. As I think Shadow's had a bit of a moment because he's recovering from a.
Oh no, Guackle's just had a bit of a moment after that amazing move.
Oh really?
He's let Peanuts right back by.
I just got off Guackle. Why does this always happen?
There's a lot going on. He's just dropped it out of the last corner a little
bit. Peanut just got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings.
So I mean, what are these penalties looking like? Let's have a look. Okay, penalties. Who's got the most? Guackle on the most with 12. So that's going to hurt him coming into the race. Confirmed the next one on 9. Oxygen on 6. And the rest of the field on... Well, not the rest of the field, but the rest of the drivers with penalties on 3 seconds. So...
There's 7 drivers on 3-second penalties.
The ones on 3 might be okay, but... As we have a look at the positional change, the biggest winner, Dougie Falcon, up 15 right now, as Sir Joshy is closing him, and it looks like about 6 or 7 tenths a lap at this point in time. And right now it's looking like a tenth a corner, so...
The worst of the drivers to lose...
Quackle gets himself another 3-second time bonus, that puts him on 15, so... If he's not careful, he might find himself with a bit of a disqualification, if he's not careful.
Just a little bit of a disqualification.
How many points does he need, or like, how many penalties does he have to get before he gets disqualified?
So you get 5 penalties for corner cutting and 5 penalties for exceeding track limits. So technically the max you can go is 30, but the game decides whether you get track limits or cutting corner, which is...
You get corner cutting on the inside and track limits on the outside generally.
Yeah, as Jojang has gone past Guackle just then and there. So
Joshi has brought the lead down to 2 seconds, 2.9. Oh,
Dougie's in the pits. So Dougie's picked then and there to go into the... He's gone 21 laps on these mediums. He's now going to do 15 laps on these softs, providing there is no rain.
Yeah. Or I think rain is guaranteed. Whether or not it gets bad enough to impact the tyres is
as
a big
Piero
question.
just gets a 3-second penalty as well.
There's no driver has made 2 stops. I don't think anyone's actually had any major damage. So there's no change. Let's have a look. So it's now up to Dougie. He has 15 He's got 16 seconds to close Sir Josh. 16 seconds, 16 laps. So now the race is in Dougie Falcons.
I'm actually surprised with when do you think Peanuts and Wackle will come into the pits?
I think
with their medium tyres.
It's an interesting one actually because
The window will be open, right?
I mean the window for the mediums was opened a while ago. I think it opened up lap 17. So as
onto the softs.
Yeah, Joe gets past as James I think is gone for Guackle. They are going side by side. Oh, Guackle gone, and there goes his front wing. Guackle made contact with James. He's lost it and then dropped it into James. So that's gonna really hurt. I think now's the time Guackle's gonna go pit. So right then and there, as I think Piero is lining up a move on Peanuts. He is. Piero trying to go around the outside. Peanuts probably wise enough to realize he's on 21 lap old mediums. Not going to challenge a car on.
Stayed out.
He stayed out.
I think he's decided his damage isn't too bad. He just looks like he's just lost an end plate there.
These guys must be praying for the rain.
I was going to say, it looked like he actually lost the whole front wing.
Yeah, on my screen he's just lost an end plate.
We have a yellow flag in Sector 3 at this moment, but I don't see a car there, so...
Yeah, it could have been either basic Kiwi or confirmed just going over the start-finish line.
Well, we can see Big Jim closing on Alex. I don't think he's close enough to make a move. Alex also getting close to the back of Quackle, so I think, here we go, Alex is going to go for it. He is going for it.
Yeah, that wing is definitely impacting the performance.
As we said, Dougie Falcons at a 104.7.
Oh,
and
that was brave from Big Jim.
Big Jim just gets Quackle, as Dougie Falcon is 4 tenths away from Oxygen.
Absolutely bullied through those 2 corners was Guackle.
I mean, that loss of downforce with that end plate missing is going to be huge around here.
Yeah,
Sector 2.
Through those 2 corners specifically, exactly.
Sector 1, you might get away with it. Sector 2 and 3, yeah, you need all bits of your wing. So, as Guackle is in the pit, I'm surprised he didn't do that earlier. So,
yeah, I think he thought he could push it.
He's obviously feeling it, and it's not great. So, Guackle on the softs. Is it just me, or is it getting darker?
It is getting darker.
It's definitely getting darker.
So James now trying to go around the outside of Peanuts on 22 lap mediums, and Peanuts hangs James out to dry. Peanuts going a very long distance.
That's what I was saying. Like,
Yellow.
as Dougie Falcon sets another fastest lap with a 104.765.
He's not messing around. He's after Sir Joshy. It's like a... Well, I actually don't have anything to say about that one.
Like a fast driver.
As James gets past Peanuts, he must be praying for rain. I think that is the only thing, because it makes no sense that he's
I
on
was
this
actually going to
medium for
say,
that
like,
long, as Piero's going
that's
for
what I'm
John Jang.
saying. Is he going to try and go the whole race just on mediums?
Well, he can't. He has to make a stop at some point.
Maybe, just thinking, maybe he might be waiting until like 10 laps to go or something, and then.
Well, that would be the prime peak performance for. I think Ethsol he has dropped it, and he's missing both his end plates on his wing, so he's obviously hit the wall out of turn 1. So Piero not having a good day. Not Piero, Ethsol, I should say. So
as you can see, like the time at the moment with Sir Joshy and Dougie Falcon is around about the 10-second mark.
it's coming down every lap. So let's see. It's now 10.2. There's 6 lap difference between Dougie Falcon and Sir Joshy. If it rains, it sits with Sir Joshy right now. If it does not, it sits with Dougie. So, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 2, and I think that might be
Ethel.
Alex. It's not Alex, it's Ethsol. So, again, Ethol's struggling with no wing.
As
he's
Brackle
got-
receives a 3-second penalty.
So, Ethsol really struggling with that no wing. And Peanuts has been passed by Joe, so... Any update on that rain, Christian? Or Chris?
Yeah, so still looks to be 5 to 10 minutes out at the earliest. And I don't think it's going to last more than 5 minutes.
So, Peanuts is praying for a miracle. You have
If that rain doesn't last, they might...
Ethsol on Inters.
Ooh.
Now that is interesting to me.
Ooh.
Wait, actually?
He
Yes,
is on
Ethel's
Inters.
going on Inters.
I think that's race over for Ethsol. I don't...
It is the curveball.
Oh.
I mean...
like, you know what I can say? He is game. He is game to go out on the Inters.
Yeah, we thought Peanuts was trying to pull a Hail Mary.
I mean...
The sun is still shining through those hills.
Yeah, that's game over for Ethsol. I don't think there's really a word to say about this. As you can see, around he goes, and that is very much race over.
That's going to be game over.
I think it was game over the moment he put the Inters on in the pits.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he may have like sort of set up for the rain?
It could have been that he's
And
accidentally
he's,
he's just forgotten to change his strategy or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like
It's
he
possible.
didn't mean to set up the Inters because he didn't think he would have to pit.
Well, right now we're on board with James, closing in on John Jang, which John Jang is closing on Piero, who is 2/10 behind. So, as Alex has a 3-second time penalty, and we have a white car, I think it's basically Kiwi, in Sector 2, as we are on board. John Jang going for the move on Piero, as we can clearly see on board with
As
James.
Ethel's in the pits again.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, as it is getting a lot darker now. Over 1 lap, I can already see it's gone much darker.
Yeah.
Oh, the irony if it starts to rain as soon as he boxes.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
James losing ground to John Jang because Piero is now the blockade between the two of them.
Mhm.
So James on 5 lap younger tyres to John Jang and 3 lap younger tyres to Piero. So James will be really loving the performance compared to the other 2 drivers in front of him, and he's really enjoying this track. I don't think he enjoyed Mexico as much, but Austria he really is. So, and we can see, I think it's going to be done into the turn 1, I think, as very close. Oh, Piero with the DRS as well, so maybe not into turn 1, maybe turn 3. He might get him, but they are closing in on John Jang as there's the as James does go for it. You getting all that tow from John Jang, so there's a potential to pick up 2 places in 1 lap. So and he does 1 corner, not 1 lap. Doesn't need the lap. He needs the corner, but he has gone wide. And oh, what's going on? James has lost out.
Ooh.
I think Piero has ended up being the big winner out of that. John Jang still sticking with him. Can he? Piero doesn't outbrake himself. John Jang hugging the inside, trying to get the better run. James
As we've
coming
got
back.
Joe catching up onto the back of this train.
Yeah, so these guys are giving the tow to Joe. We have 7 laps to go. Dougie.
As Wackle just picks himself up another 3-second penalty.
I think he's on 18 seconds right now, so he's getting very close to disqualification. Right?
No, he's on 24.
So he's very close to disqualification. I don't think he wants to do that more than once more. So
That's gotta get close.
We've got Sajoshi on 3, Oxygen on 6, Piero on 6, John Jang on 6, Joe and Peanuts on 3, Alex and Big Jim on 6, Wackle on 24 seconds.
well, John Jang has just gone for the move on Piero. Side by side into turn 3. Who's getting the DRS here? I think John Jang might get it. He does get it. He will have another go. James trying to go at John Jang. There is
Oh, look at that.
cars side by side, and John Jang defending now. He's gone from attacking to defending. James trying to go pull an Albon around the outside. He does sit there. He does get him. Piero running away. A little bit of space. Joe now on the back of this.
So it looked like John Jang just didn't get quite the run he wanted out of turn 3, and that let James capitalise on it
I think
big time.
I think he outbraked himself as Joe is now coming at John Jang very close. He's going to get him into the penultimate corner. So I wouldn't even say the penultimate corner, the second last corner. So side by side. Oh, it's so close here. As he does get him. He does get him. As I can't tell if that's Alex
As
or
we got
Ethel.
Ethel's has brought out the yellow flag in sector 2.
Yeah, he's I don't know how much longer he's going to stick with this.
He is not having the best of races.
Piero, James is going, making his move on Piero. Piero, late brakes, just gets there. I think Piero might get the DRS though. He does get the DRS, so unfortunate for James. Piero's
I think
not
you've
full
got the
away.
back end of that. James got Piero down the straight, and Piero's retaking that position there.
Ah, okay. As we have a yellow flag in sector 2, and
It's Ethel's again.
that's race over. I think if he retires there, there's going to be a safety car, which will be interesting.
I'm seeing some drops of rain.
Are we now? There is drops of rain with 5 laps to go. I don't know if we'll get the inters. I think
I don't think so.
actually, you know what? It depends now because Tier 2 took 3 laps to go from full dry to inters.
This is going to be tight. Do you
Ooh.
think in 3 laps' time it'll be worth stopping for a tyre change?
Yeah, it depends on how much it rains. If it rains like Tier 2, then yes, it will.
I don't think we're going to quite get the same level of rain. I think it'll be worth pressing on at this rate.
Again, it all depends, but James is going for the move on Piero. He does go to the inside. Will James park it there? He thinks better.
As
He's going to go for turn 5.
As we see at the moment, that Dougie Falcon has brought that lead down to 3.1.
He just needs to bring it down a little more, as I think
Yeah.
Joe just made the move on...
Where did he come from? He snuck up.
He really has. He's just made the move on James.
James busy looking ahead.
And not paying attention to side by
Basically,
side.
gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane.
So both the drivers at the bottom have put the inters on, and Ethsol again has gone for inters, and I don't think it's time. You know what? It's actually looking like inters in 2 laps' time.
So,
It is very slippy out there.
could you say
But-
that
Ethsol has retired, so
Ethel's on the going into sector 1, safety car.
oh boy, that was close.
Wow. Where did
That's
Ethel
what
retire? Is he on
safe.
track?
This is going to be interesting.
On turn
One?
1. Just
Yeah,
after
there he
turn
is there.
1.
There you can see his car. He's lost his rear wing. I think
He
his rear
has.
tire. So
I think that was his front left. But yeah, damaged a tyre. He's brought the safety car out. That's 2 safety cars and 2 races today.
So that means
Ooh.
Inter time. You can see the guys are pitting on Inters. You can
Yeah,
see it.
absolutely.
Alex, you've got a
This-
5
that's the time to do it.
penalty for speeding in pit lane.
Oh wow, this is
It's
going to be
it's getting slippery out on track already.
this is going to be an amazing end to the race.
As you can see on Joe's car, there is a bit of rain on the halo.
Well, it's now really coming down hard, and it's definitely Inter's time, as both we're on board with Dougie and Sir Joshi. Now these guys should get out at the same time because the game doesn't do fastest pit stops.
Yes, no.
But we can see Oxygen. Is he coming in? Oxygen in. Piero still on track. Joe still on track. James still on track. John Jang. So I think Shadow, depending on where he comes out, it's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting to see
Well,
how obviously the 2 front runners are gonna be go. So Joshi and Dougie Falcon. Now that the safety car's out.
lap 33. So these guys will have 2 laps of racing. It'll come in on the end of lap 34 or the end of lap 35, which will be one.
Oh,
Guackle
and
has
Guackle
retired.
has just retired from the session.
We have just missed that. So
Oh, there it was.
okay, so need to find Basic Kiwi going around right now. Where can we see Guackle's car? Guackle's car is not there no more. No, it is there. We did just see it on the inside of the track. So
Interesting. We've got basically 2 drivers, DNF.
well,
Within,
yeah, compared to our tier 2 race.
Yeah. As you were saying, like there was 8 DNFs.
Yeah, there was 8 DNFs, so we've got 2 in tier 1. So
As we see Alex just come into the pits.
he's got to try and get out ahead of this chain of safety car, otherwise he's going to be stuck there. He's going to be stuck there for sure. You can see he's changing his front wing. So now, really, this is Dougie's to lose because Sir Joshi has a 3-second time penalty for multiple track warnings. So if we have a look at the penalties, so positional change, Dougie up 14.
Sir Joshi just got a 5-second penalty with for a severe collision with Dougie Falcon.
Well, that's interesting because Dougie's behind him, so I wouldn't worry too much about that.
I mean, that'll be probably a steward's investigation.
Yes, it definitely will be. What have we got? We have, well, Basic Kiwi has a drive-through penalty. You've got confirmed on 9 seconds of penalty. You've got, well, so Joshi shouldn't have 8 seconds, but that'll be corrected. 6 seconds to Oxygen, 6 seconds to Piero, 6 seconds to Joe. So that's going to be tight for the 3rd place. Safety car in this lap, so I was right for lap 34.
2 laps.
Big Jim only going around turn 1, so he's
miles behind.
He's out of contention unless there's a crash. So now we focus on the last 2 laps of the race. What is going to go down? I do not know. We saw what happened after the safety car restart in Tier 2 where there was an incident and Miggs lost out. So James has now got a 5-second time penalty with John Jang. So these guys trying to stick as close as they possibly can and running into the back of each other. And I think Piero's gone almost into the wall.
One's off on the grass there.
So
That's Bottas.
Big Jim doing his best to catch up, but there's no way he's going to catch up unless it's an incident.
Yeah,
I think Sir
no.
Joshi has then and there decided to let it go, and he has. Dougie following very closely behind. You get Shadow 5-second penalty with collision with window. There's a few of these penalties we're going to have to go through, Chris.
Yep.
Okay, Dougie going very wide, but he's now within 1
to the back.
2 tenths in the back, at the back of Sir Joshi. He's glued to him like a rash right now. Sir Joshi ultra defensive. Dougie playing it smart. Is he about to do a Lewis Hamilton? He has. He has literally gone and done a Lewis Hamilton, going from 15th, 16th on the grid to 1st spot. Sir Joshi does even answer. Who knows? Oxygen right behind him.
As we see Sir Joshy try and take the place back.
He's side by side with Dougie Falcon.
There.
So Joshy there, Dougie knows he's there, but Dougie gets a good enough run. So Joshy bumped him actually. It's a bit of a bump there.
You can sort of see that. You can sort of see Sir Joshy's front wing almost going under the back of.
As we're on board with Window,
Falcon's car.
trying to go past. Back on board with Sir Joshy. So Joshy 2/10 behind the race leader and the last two race winners. So Oxygen, I think he's given a bit of a spot to Oxygen right now because Oxygen's got a very good run on him. With the last lap at this point in time, can Sir Joshy hold on to second place? Oxygen will want that merit second place, but for the third race in a row, I think Sir Joshy might be finishing in second as John Jang gets Ubiquitous Shadow. So it's going to be a close finish to this race as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. I think it's Basic Kiwi. So
yeah, it's looks like it's Basic Kiwi into the penultimate corner.
This is going to come down to who has the least amount of penalties. And I actually forget that Sir Joshy has 8 seconds, so the game will put him down, I think, 5th. No, actually, I take that back because Piero has 6 seconds of penalty. So
yeah, and Oxygen's got 11 seconds, so.
Basic Kiwi has then and there retired from the race on the last lap.
Well, at least he retired in the pits.
Yeah, but there wouldn't be any safety car at this point. So
no, but I mean, I'll give him that he did retire in the pits.
As our race winner for Austria and round 5 comes across the line, he takes his 3rd win of the season. As
3rd win, 3rd pole, 3rd fastest lap.
It has literally left Sir Joshy in 2nd place.
I think with all the penalties, yes. James very close to
oh my
3rd.
God.
Big Jim is the last one to come round right now as we ride on board with him to cross the line. And that marks round 5 for OCE Racing League 1, guys.
Wow. Did you just see the end of that, Jules? A lot of penalties.
A lot of them are probably merited from there's someone pulling off to the left there. A lot of them are probably corner cutting ones, exceeding track limits. Some of them will be the safety cars, which we'll need to go through.
There was one that, who was it that had the drive-through penalty?
Basic Kiwi, so he was completely out of contention anyway, so.
And even though he was out of contention, he still got a penalty for that. Because he didn't serve the drive-through penalty.
So he got disqualified then. So as we see another dry end to our background image here, we have Dougie Falcon in 1st place. With he had the pole, but for some reason was put down to 16th, and he has the fastest lap and the race win. So Dougie Falcon with another trifecta from our esport racer.
Yes, that was interesting to see how he. Actually find out how he started in 16th when he qualified on pole.
You know, this has actually happened before. I think it happened to Zox in tier 1 last race, like in Mexico. He qualified like 3rd or something, or 6th or something, and had to start in the back of the grid. So as we run down the order, we had Dougie Falcon in 1st, Sir Joshy in 2nd, and Joe rounding off our podium places in 3rd. James in 4th, where he qualified. Oxygen in 5th. Peanuts in 6th, Piero in 7th, Window in 8th, Ubiquitous Shadow in 9th, and John Jang rounds out our top 10. So,
top 10 at the moment.
For the moment, yes. This is the provisional race results. But we will now see. We'll now have to go through all of this and find out who finished where, and then we'll put this on our Twitter channel for you guys to find out the results. We will put down the link in the chat for Twitter, so you guys can also follow that. Twitter will also be the aside from our races, will be the first place to know the results. So yeah, it's what a race. I mean, I think the race was I don't think it was it was definitely very entertaining, but I think the most entertaining race was tier 2. Would you agree, Chris?
Oh, there was a lot going on in Tier 2.
I mean,
No
That
doubt
was
watching
interesting.
Dougie cut through the field there was pretty crazy though.
yeah.
For
Like-
sure. Would you expect anything less from an esport driver?
I suppose not.
So,
I'm kind of still confused about how he ended up down there.
That's
Was it
all
something
right,
to do with the fact he retired? Like right at the end of Ollie there?
I'm not sure. I really don't actually know as to why he was even there. Like, it's a strange one, to be honest.
He's made it work regardless.
Definitely, and he came back and he put it in first. So, honestly, well done.
Very impressed with Peanut's run on the mediums there. I think he finished on 32 laps with them.
He did. He actually.
I suppose not.
I can't believe he went that far, to be honest. So,
Yeah, it's a pretty long run on the mediums.
I mean, we should get Peanuts in here to see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, I might send him a message.
yeah,
Like how he managed to stay on the mediums for that long.
not very sure, but viewers that are watching, we have posted our Twitter account on the messages for our live stream. So if you want to follow, there's the link where you can follow, and you will find out the moment the race results are confirmed. So yeah. That's-
And we have our driver Peanuts in here.
So someone said something about tires. I don't know. You wanted to say something about tires?
Ah, yes. The tires.
The tires.
Yeah, 32 laps on the mediums.
So what was your game plan at the start of the race there?
The game plan was really, first of all, to be honest, I was really banking on the the rain. I
Yeah.
didn't know it would become that late, so I was just driving and driving and driving. But no, on the first lap, I had a really good start, and I was thinking of getting one stop, going to softs, so then I can switch to inters at the end of the race. But then I got punted off to plumb last. Started to drive, like stretch those tires until lap 31, 32, and thank God there's a safety car and I can finally change the tires.
Yeah.
And
The safety car really arrived right in time for you, didn't it?
Exactly, and quite blessed, although it wasn't really much of a points haul, but still, the nursing of the tires, it felt great.
We were
Everyone
very impressed.
in the VC earlier, everyone was so amazed, like confused, like how am I still going now with those
And-
tires?
Did it feel good on that 30-second lap
30-second lap?
of the mediums?
Nah, that's the pit in. That's it. That's my in lap.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, the
Overall.
31st lap then. How did they feel?
Oh, I'm not sure how to say.
On a scale of 1 to garbage.
I wasn't, to be honest, it was a spotless race for me. Just except for the turn 1 incident, which I will have to look at it. Because, well, could have got like more points there.
yeah, yeah.
Overall, I'm really happy with the race.
It's good to hear.
Good
Yeah.
to hear. Good to hear.
I think that'll do it for us, right?
I mean, let's see if you can bring in one or two more drivers. Maybe try Ethsol. See if he would like to join in, or
I'll hit him up.
Ibika Shadow. See if they would like to come in.
yeah.
One of them for a bit of a quick interview. So, but thank you, Peanuts, for joining us. On to the next interview if we can get it. If you can find out.
That's it if we can get it.
It's a bit of a last interview. So, but yeah.
I mean,
What a race! It's it was crazy. Crazy! I can't believe we had rain twice, 2 races in a row. And we had the same. I mean, not as bad in Tier 1, but the weather was the same bar qualifying for Tier 1. So
like how many drivers in Tier 2 actually got a penalty?
I think majority of the drivers got a penalty in that.
Oh.
So
Yeah, it was pretty dicey.
yeah, it was crazy, but I can't believe. So,
Not getting an answer on here. I think we might have to cut it there.
pardon?
We might have to cut it there.
Yeah, no, too easy. So, but viewers, thank you so much for watching round 5 of the OCE Racing League 1 race. If you guys would like to join, be a part of our community, just join the Discord link and that'll take you straight in. If you would like to race, be a part and race with us, again, just let us know in the general chat. Otherwise, just feel free to say hello. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Chris, Law, thank you so much for joining me in the commentary box. I hope
Thanks
you
for
guys.
having us.
And I'll probably see you next week.
Too easy, too easy.
Hang on.
What's wrong?
Oh, we got Shadow.
Oh, we got
Hello
Shadow.
there.
Hang on.
Shadow.
Viewers, if you can hold on for one moment, we have another driver. We got Ubiquitous Shadow joining us in the commentary box for a quick interview. So, Shadow, how did you find it?
Not the way I wanted it to end, really.
We saw you had a bit of a moment. I think it was on lap 18. I think it was. Where out of sector 2, into at the start of sector 3, where you kind of went round. I think it was.
Yeah, look, there was that bit that was contact with John Jang into that second left-hander. So I don't know, have to look at that, but yeah, that cost me, I think, about 8 seconds to him in the end. Yeah, wasn't ideal.
Unfortunate, but I suppose not much you can do. I suppose again, it's up to us to go through and make sure that this is all legal.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes, but yeah, at least I didn't get damage from it, so it was a bit of a spin in a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Lost.
I mean, in the end, you ended up finishing, what was it, 6th, was it? 7th?
Oh, who knows? I do know I got rear-ended under the safety car, so
I mean, let's see
there's a
if we can
5-second
find
penalty
out.
there, which...
We can, so, according to, after all of the penalties and stuff, so it looked like you finished, it was 9th actually, so, provisionally it was 9th, so, at this point in time, with all the penalties still to come, so...
Busy night ahead.
Oh yeah.
I think I almost cost myself a podium just in the third last corner of the race. To be honest. I think just went off at the end there, and I think I would have been 5 seconds off the podium.
That's annoying.
Without it, so
That's annoying. So
see how things go, but yeah.
Not much you can do, I suppose. But oh well, that marks.
I cannot spin out and go into the wall.
There's that
Yeah,
too.
that's very easily said.
But at the same time, like in the heat of the moment, you're pushing as hard as you possibly can, trying to get the guy in front. And I know all too well about it, particularly my Russia race, where I was catching Joe at 1.5 seconds a lap, and when I got to 4/10 within him, I dropped it on the third last corner in Russia, and there goes my race. So I know all too well.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, unfortunate, but not much I could do. I was pushing hard, and that was over the edge. So I was quite literally over the edge, which is why I dropped it. So
what have we got next week? What track have we got?
We have Singapore for round 6. So I think it's going to be a very interesting one, because it's a track where it's very difficult to pass that. You really only have the straight. Now you can either do a Red Bull and chuck on a lot of downforce and be very quick in sector 2 and 3, or you can do a Ferrari and have very low downforce and be lightning quick in sector 1. So, and then hold up the people behind you in sector 2 and 3. So,
or you could just do a Sebastian Vettel and do a Spinala.
well, in Singapore he didn't do that. He only did that when Kimi Räikkönen and Max Verstappen made contact, and I don't think it wasn't really his fault to do the spin.
Excuse me, I don't think the race happened that year. The race got cancelled. Don't you remember?
It's true. I kind of blocked it from my memory as best I could, but it keeps coming back, so I've had to deal with it.
You have to accept it as truth.
But yeah, so in Vettel's last race at Singapore was a win for him. So we didn't race. We didn't race at Singapore last year due to COVID. So, but I think for us, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I think if Dougie's there. Dougie's definitely going to be number 1 with Sir Joshy behind. And then we just go from there. Plus, Sex is actually pretty quick around Singapore. Peanuts is very quick around Singapore. I mean, at least he was on a controller. This is now his 5th race on a wheel, so it's new territory for him. It's going to take him a while to get up to speed, but he'll be up there in Singapore, I think. Any other?
And I mean, I'm just looking at the fastest lap for the Singapore GP. It's roughly around a 1:42.
I think it'll be a bit quick. I think it'll be a lot quicker than that.
I mean, that was the fastest lap from the from 2019.
Yeah, but that's the actual the rate. Esport and the game in the esport, it works. It's a lot quicker than what the actual drivers do. So it's definitely going to be a lot quicker. I'm predicting maybe a 1:35, 1:36, maybe a 34.9, maybe in qualifying. But we'll see. We will definitely see. So, Shadow, any last things you would like to say to the viewers, everyone watching?
Nothing more from me.
Oh, Shadow,
have a drink.
Yeah, rest up, get prepared for the next round 6. So, I think with your finish, I think you still sit 4th in the driver's standing, so it's still not too bad. So,
yeah,
that's still. As well, both me, Sex and I didn't race. We didn't get any points, but again, we'll see what happens. But thank you for joining us, Shadow, and
yeah, no problem.
We'll see you come round 6. Viewers, this time, I think we are definitely off. And Law, Chris, thank you so much for joining me once again. Viewers,
Thanks for having us once again.
We'll see you next week.
Viewers, thank you for watching, and look out for round 6 at the Singapore Grand Prix for both OCE Racing League 1 and 2. OCE Racing League 2 will be held at 5 o'clock once again next week. Possibly the week after as well, but we will see. We will also still hold OCE Racing League 1 at 7 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Time. When Victoria moves into not daylight savings, then we will switch to Australian Eastern Standard Time, where we will be an hour forward for our time. So, but nevertheless, we'll worry about that, and I think that'll be a season 3 thing. So we'll worry about that come later down the track. But in the meantime, viewers, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys join that Twitter page, follow it, subscribe there. You will see the updated race results, the standings, everything will go live come start of tomorrow morning, so you'll be the first to know. Thank you for the guys that also recently followed us, and well, just thank you in general. See you guys.
Ciao.